Hey guys, it's Sunday, time for my next update. July 8th, this is when my scheduled update was supposed to come. But as you know, I put up some videos in between. And first thing I want to discuss is the video I put up about the inFAMOUS 3 opening mission. And the creator of this plot, his name is Random Name 431, something like that, I can't remember. I'll put an annotation with his name on the screen so you guys can check it out. And if you're watching this video, sorry if I say anything wrong or mispronounce something. But he came up with this plot. I took it from the comments, as I said in that video. And he commented on my special video, the one I put up specifically about the opening mission. And he said that he wanted to keep Trish dead, but he might be able to work it out to where she's a vampire. And I want to know what you guys think. Should we leave Trish dead? Should we bring her into the game again? Should we bring her back in a non-physical form? Like, should we bring her back to where it's simply Cole having hallucinations about her all the time and his mind's playing tricks on him? Or should we bring her back as a vampire? Whatever you guys think is best, leave it in the comments below. This might end up being a two-part video because I have a lot to cover. What else? Yes. Something else I wanted to talk about is something that a lot of people are probably not going to be happy with, and some people might think it's interesting, but we'll see. You know, like always, leave it in the comments and we'll see what you think about it. You know, you never can tell. But I think that we should bring Moya back in inFAMOUS 3, either as a conduit or as some sort of cyborg or something. Now, if you read the comic books for inFAMOUS, which bridge the gap between the first and second game, what happens is that Sasha and Moya both die. And for those of you who don't know or can't remember, Moya is the FBI agent in inFAMOUS 1 that contacts Cole and says that he has to get the Ray Sphere and she'll get him out of the quarantine. But the entire time, and it shows this in the comic books, in the comic books, Moya is actually working with Kessler to get the Ray Sphere back into Kessler's hands. She's basically two-timing Cole. She's saying that she wants him to get the Ray Sphere so the FBI can have it and the government can take control of it and nothing bad will happen and it falls into the right hands. But she's really working with Kessler to get it back. And that's that story. So she's being a double agent in the comic books, trying to get back at Cole for what he did to her, about how John exposed her and said, "You're being played. I don't know anybody named Moya." All this stuff. Now, how the hell did that guy survive? So, you know, she catches him. The government catches Cole. There is a comic book. I can't remember like every single page and every line out of the books, but there's a book. I think it's like the second to last one. I actually might put up some pictures here. I just use some gameplay because I know some people like it when I put gameplay in. So I might put up some pictures of the actual comic books. I'll put a link to them in the description too if you like them. But Moya captures Cole. She gets him in sort of like this chamber. She has him on a boat or something. She tells him that the First Sons are operating out of New Marais. All this stuff. And she wants Cole to work for her. And basically, during this comic book, Sasha breaks into this facility or this boat or wherever Moya has Cole, and Sasha breaks him out, and I'll put a picture up on the screen here. It's kind of funny. I'll admit it was funny reading through it. But Sasha breaks him out, and then Sasha and Moya have a big fight, and I think Sasha ends up dying because the military kills her. I think. And I'm sorry if I hesitate every now and then. Just trying to collect my thoughts. So if we bring Moya back as, you know, as a conduit or something, because in Infamous 3, obviously, you're going to start out really confused. And how we're going to do the factions is I think we're going to split it up a little bit. I know I mentioned the factions in an earlier video, the enemies. We're going to have the vampires, First Sons, the rebels, and then the government. But what if we split the government up into two sectors, let's say? Moya has control of her own. You know, Moya is like the leader of this group. She's become a boss enemy, okay? Sort of like to get revenge on Cole for what he's done, because she was trying to get him. The entire game of Infamous 1 and the comic books, Moya was trying to get Cole to work for her, and he kept refusing. So if we make Moya a boss, and I know that sounds like a lot of kids are gonna, you know, obviously relate that to rap videos. There's no relation here. I don't even like rap, so let's stay off that subject. But if we make Moya a conduit enemy, just put it that way, then it gives her a chance to get back at Cole for what, you know, he did in Infamous 1 and the comic books. So we can have the government split up into two sectors. We can have Moya controlling her own sector, and the legit military that is controlled, you know, obviously by Senate and all that crap. That way, we have more of an inner world kind of secret. Oh shit, I'm gonna die here. Damn. Oh well, we're gonna have sort of like an underground war going on between the government fighting the government fighting the rebels fighting, you know, everybody. It's all a big, huge free-for-all. Everybody's all against each other. And Cole's stuck here in the middle, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Now, some guy in the comments in one of my videos said, you should pull a God of War. Do a God of War game where you got to start all over again. No, I think that is a terrible idea. Infamous 1, we had to start out with 0 powers, work our way up. Infamous 2, oh, guess what? The beast broke my powers. We got to start all over again. I am not going through another origin story and having to regain my powers every time I play the game. I think we ought to start out with a fair amount of powers. We ought to start out with at least one ionic power. I don't want to pull another God of War and have to regain all of my powers again. Because, yeah, Infamous 2, you started out with, what, 2 or 3 powers that you didn't start out with in Infamous 1. Sure, Infamous 1, you got the Shockwave and the Bolt right away. Infamous 2, you got Shockwave, the Bolt, and grenades. Static thrusters, you know, kind of your utility powers. You got all those right away, but all the other powers you had, gone. I honestly didn't like that. I wasn't very pleased with that, and it took forever to gain them back, too. You never got rockets until you reached Flood Town. You know, you didn't even, once again, you don't even get the Ionic Storm until literally the second to last level of the game. So if you want to use it, you gotta just not play the last level. And honestly, you know, I'm not trying to rag on Sucker Punch. I like Sucker Punch. I'm a big fan of them. You know, I've had, you know, just, they're a very, very important game company to me. I like them more than all these other game companies, Treyarch, you know, all this kind of shit. They're right up there at the top of my list. But I honestly don't blame Infamous 2's faults. I don't blame it on Sucker Punch. I blame it on their time frame. Because during the end of Infamous 1's production, Sony comes up and says, we want you to start production on Infamous 2, pronto. Even before they had finished Infamous 1. So they were stuck on a time frame right from the start. They were pressed hard and said, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta hurry up, make Infamous 2. You know, we know it's gonna be a big hit. Hurry up. So they were kind of pressed for time on Infamous 2, and Infamous 2 is great, I will admit. They have good graphics. The enemies, though, not very pleased. The Icemen, I think, were too futuristic. They were too annoying. Oh, I better not die again. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. I thought the Icemen were too annoying. They were too in your face. The swamp monsters were just pointless waste of time. All they did was get in your way. Once again, they weren't very fun to fight. This right here, that is annoying as hell, because you cannot, you know, there's a difference between having strong enemies and having fun playing a game, and having annoying enemies and getting pissed while playing a game. There is a big difference right there. Another thing, probably not a huge difference, but something that does matter during a game, just to give it a bit of flair. All the enemies, which would be two different factions, use the same guns. The same guns. That I found to be kind of lazy. Then again, I can't blame it on them because they had a time frame. They had a very, very structured time frame. But it just, to me, it seems like Infamous 2 wasn't as good as the first game because of, once again, I know I bring it up, because of the time frame. They were pressed. Sucker Punch was told, finish this game, start production on the second one pronto. And I'm going to put up a little trailer, a gameplay trailer of Infamous 2 in its early production, which would